This could be you on your first week of classes, drowning in assignments, unable to keep up with the lectures, and just absolutely lost. But you can choose to be this person, turning in the assignments early, nodding along to the lectures, and even helping your classmates catch up. Trust me, it is possible. If you're already feeling the back to school nerves slowly creeping in, take a pause, breathe, because I'm gonna guide you on exactly what to do weeks before school starts so you don't panic the night before. Step number 1 is to reset your routine. I think one of the hardest obstacles to overcome during this back to school season is switching from your vacation mindset to your back to school mindset. And I think that's because we force ourselves, we throw ourselves into the new school year even though we're still totally unprepared. But to start your school year strong, you can't just wing it. A successful school year doesn't happen by accident. It happens with strategic preparation. Even small habits take months to build, so you shouldn't expect to be prepared for the new school year overnight. Weeks before school starts, practice consistently waking up and sleeping early. Let's break that down. I am not a morning person, so I know just how difficult it is to wake up for an 8 a.m. class, but to train myself and to ease myself into waking up early, this is what I do. I set an alarm. It doesn't have to be at 5 a.m. like those ideal morning routine videos tell you. Just set an early morning alarm and actually stick to it. No cheat days, no skip days. Condition your mind to stick to this designated time. Now, as soon as I wake up, I step outside and I bask in the sun. That early morning sun exposure has been proven by science. It improves sleep quality, it helps you sleep early, it makes you happy, it helps you stay alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic throughout the day. Then I create a schedule for myself, a simple to-do list every day. This doesn't have to be super intense, just practice setting blocks of time for, say, doing chores, for cleaning out your desk, sorting out last year's notes. The goal really is just to get yourself used to the structure and pace of school. Along with that, I avoid afternoon naps. I am a serial napper. I take 3 to 5 naps, even more, even on school days, which I know isn't the healthiest, but during this reset period, I try my best to avoid afternoon naps. And what I found, what worked for me, is setting a task to do, something I enjoy, something I would want to do, like watching a K-drama. I keep myself busy in the afternoon or just during the times when I'm most sleepy to take my mind off of sleeping. Now, 2 hours or an hour before bed, phone jail. You may or may not notice this, but using your phone at night actually messes up your sleep, especially the kind of sleep your brain needs to remember the things you learned that day. Dr. Michael Rich, who is an associate professor at Harvard Medical School, even said, even if you stay awake in algebra class, you may not remember what happened in class. So, an hour before bed, or if you really can, 30 minutes before bed, put your phone away. Now, you don't have to do this entire routine all at once. Start by waking up early and exposing yourself to the early morning sun for a few days. Once you're used to it, try setting a schedule for yourself. The goal is to slowly ease out of your couch potato era and to be consistent so you won't feel as overwhelmed when school starts. Step number 2 is to prepare your workspace. Start by clearing out your backpack, your drawers, and your desk. I tend to avoid whatever mess I made at the end of the school year on my workspace, and I tend to avoid dealing with that throughout the entire break. But at least 2 weeks before the new school year, I organize my backpack, my drawers, and my desk. You'll be surprised by how many pens, notebooks, and stationery supplies you already have but totally forgot about. That being said, create an inventory of your school supplies. I have this entire list on Notion, which basically tells me what supplies I have and how many of them are left in my storage. This might sound a little over the top, but in essence, this is just a simple list. You can create one on Google Sheets, on Excel, even with a pen and paper, whichever you're comfortable with. Just create a quick list of what you already have so you don't end up buying doubles or even forgetting important school supplies. Before the start of school, I just check this list, I buy only what I need, and I save myself some money I could use for my allowance. Some stationery supplies I swear by and have used since high school are the A4 binders from Muji, along with their, loose leaf grid papers and dividers. I use this for my handwritten notes as well as for storing handouts and lecture slides. So instead of carrying 5 separate notebooks, each for different course, every single day, I can just bring this binder, which already separates my notes by course. I have everything I need without getting too bulky. Plus, if I ever need to take out papers, say notes I don't need anymore, I can easily do so. I don't have to carry around a month's worth of notes, and it saves me so much space in my backpack. Now, if you want to store other papers in here, papers that don't already have holes like these ones, it is also helpful to get a puncher like this one. This in particular can punch multiple holes already, already. See, it's super used and super kadiri na. But highly recommend for anyone who wants to organize their notes in binders. Now, aside from these, I'm like shopping for stationery supplies in my room. I also have a clear envelope, whichever you want to pronounce it, which I use to store assignments, worksheets, exams, and any other assessments. I don't always need to bring these types of papers, so I prefer keeping them separate from my binder, still in an envelope though, so they're not scattered around in my room, and so I can easily find a specific assessment whenever I need to. For pens, I have the Muji gel pens, Pilot Friction pens, and the Muji mechanical pencil, which I cannot find anywhere in my room. This friction pen has saved me countless times in college. You will find that professors absolutely detest erasures in college. You can even get deductions for it, so keep an erasable pen with you at all times. For highlighters, I use the Zebra mild liners. This already comes in a pack of 5, which is great. And unlike the usual highlighters you can buy from the store, they're not neon, so they're not too harsh on the eyes. Maybe that's why they're called mild liners. Also, stock up on yellow pads. You will need this a lot in college. This is sometimes used as a scratch paper, an answer sheet even, so make sure you have these. Sticky notes. You can definitely buy whichever you prefer. There are even transparent sticky notes now, which is super helpful. And this I use a lot for making annotations on textbooks and even on my handwritten notes. So those are pretty much my go-to list for stationery. I'll drop a few other less important ones in the description in case you want to double check if you need anything else. Okay, step number 3, reset your digital spaces. Look over your files, your photos, your apps, and delete the ones you don't need anymore. You will need a lot of storage when the new school year starts. Storage for your notes, handouts, presentations, photos, and more. So make sure you're prepared for these weeks before. At the same time, back up important files. I have 2 backup systems. One is on Google Drive and the other is on my hard drive. I make sure to organize and save all academic files from the last semester in these 2 backup systems. But of course, if you just want to use one, you are free to do so. Just make sure you have a place to store these files in case you'll need them in the future. I might need to turn on my lights because it is getting too dark here. Please hold. Okay, hopefully this is better. So once you're done with that and you're now moving forward with a clean and organized slate, take the time to set up your device's screen pages. When your iPad, your phone, or your laptop is cluttered with unnecessary apps, it is so easy to get distracted and to waste time looking for the tools you actually need. Take the time to rearrange your screen pages so that your essential productivity apps are on the front and all other less important apps are set aside. The goal is to create a digital space that supports your study routine. I have 2 videos, one on my MacBook setup and another on my iPad setup. I think both of these can help you set up your devices for productivity, so go check it out if you want to follow along. Step number 4, set up your systems. I do this specifically a week before the new school year starts because out of all the steps I've mentioned so far, which are equally important, I think this one in particular is what really gets me in the right headspace for back to school. So I have this workspace on Notion where I organize all relevant information for all of my courses and also where I plot important deadlines. I have this template available for you. I also made a thorough guide on how to use this template in my last video, and if really there's anything I would recommend you to have to stay on top of your tasks this school year, it is this template. And I'm not saying that just because I made this template. I'm saying that because this is a comprehensive template thoughtfully built around the things students actually need. So it's something I genuinely think would help. So with this template, I start fresh. I set up my course pages, I save course guides and course modules which I can follow throughout the semester. I plot important dates and deadlines mentioned in our course syllabi, especially the percentage-heavy deliverables like exams and final projects. This dashboard is my second brain. I keep everything I need in here, so I always make sure to set it up before the new school year starts. Then I set up the folders in my Google Drive. Again, I rarely ever use my laptop storage to store my academic files. All my files are stored in G Drive, so having that set up just makes it convenient to sort files immediately throughout the semester. One last thing, email labels. This is so overlooked at the start of the school year, but this is one thing that I think will make such a huge difference. During the first 2 weeks of the new school year, you will typically receive a lot of emails from your professors. These can be login credentials for your courses portals, enrollment deadlines, etc. When you tag these emails as soon as you receive them, you won't spend so much time and effort trying to look for a specific email you received, say, 4 weeks ago. And that is it for Back to School Reset. It is only a few weeks to the new school year for many of you, so I'd love to know what your goals are for this academic year. I am wishing wishing you all the best. And thank you so much for sticking around. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!